Hello, everyone. Will Tesla reach again $1 trillion? Well, right now we're at $750 billion in market cap. The question for us all is, will Tesla reach that level again? And that is what we want to know. And frankly, I will tell you this, it's a possibility. It's a strong possibility. Now, why am I talking about Tesla right now? Why is this a big deal right now? Well, the reason it's a big deal is obviously, as you know, if you follow my Patreon channel, you will know that I invested. I bought some calls. Yes, I know. I bought some calls January 2025 on Tesla. And before the Robotaxi event. Yeah, I know. This is probably not the best time to have bought it because they didn't do so well after the fact. Yeah, but that's not what investing is about, right? It'd be nice to know everything that's going to happen before everything is happening, but that's not always the case. Sometimes you make a mistake, or is it a mistake? Hold your horses. Hold your horses. So what we're going to do, we're going to analyze and we're going to try to understand what happened with Tesla and what is about to happen, right? So the Robotaxi event, he went out. First they were late. Then he presented it. And he talks and he showed this car without a driver and without a wheel and just two-seater. And then he showed a bit this truck with 20 people going there with nobody driving. And then you saw the robots running around. And instead of people being amazed by it, instead of people saying, wow, I mean, say, well, he's not telling us when it's gonna get done. He's not telling us anything. And what did they do? Just like that, 10% the next day. I must say, I had better days. But I think Elion's got something cooking. Now, recently, I don't know if you realized, but he was able to catch this, you know, this engine that went into space and came down, and he grabbed it, right? So that was pretty good, right? So I think he knows what he's. This is not a car company, first of all. I think that's the first thing you need to realize. Do not look at it like a car company. But then again, what am I saying? Obviously not, because if you look at the PE ratio for Tesla, it's not 10 like for Ford, it's almost 67. So something is cooking there. Now, what he has that's not good against him, he keep promising things that he can't deliver. Well, excuse me. I mean, look what he's delivering, right? Cars that drive by themselves. Starship that goes up, starship that goes down, robots that's able to hold an egg. You know. The second thing is obviously spending a lot of time with Trump. So if people don't like Trump and they look at him and they say, you know what, let's punish him through Trump or punish Trump through him. Who knows what's going on in the mind of traders? The third thing, obviously, is that the auto part of the business is kind of reaching a plateau, right? I mean, yeah, we're buying Teslas, but it's not like it used to be. Okay. And frankly, he really hasn't made too many changes to the car itself in a while. It's a great car. Yeah. You don't have to spend money on gas. You don't have to spend money on maintenance. The thing gets updated all the time. And all you have to worry about is changing the tires, changing the air filters, and changing the brakes, and maybe fixing the air condition, and that's about it. I mean, you have to find places to charge the car. But anyway, this is about making money. This is about investment. Who cares what he says? Who cares what he does? Who cares about anything else? All we know about is the stock is down. So the question is, can this be worth $1 trillion again? Listen to me now and believe me later. First of all, let's study the price movement for Tesla. Let's understand what happened to it Why did it move the way it did? Okay. So if we go back to October 7th, right, which is the day when I put up that fateful trade, right? I was saying it was at around $238. It shot up to 248, and I'm saying, wow, the October 10th is coming up. They're building up to this huge event. Everything is going to look great. And you could see that the stock was trading around 200 and almost $250. And then I saw some weakness here, and I said, it's breaking through the 50-day moving average. And if you look and you understand how the stock trade, let's say from the beginning of the year, you see it see the 50-day moving average here, right? It tends to go underneath it for like a couple of months. And then after the earnings, boom, it broke through and it found newfound life. Now, of course, here everyone went to the toilet, but not just for Tesla, for a bunch of other companies as well, right? So everyone got into trouble here. And then when it was there, they say, it's paying too much, the PE ratio is too high, the Magnificent Seven, blah, blah, blah. We need the rate cuts. We're not getting rate cuts. We may have inflation. We may have recession. Oh, and we also have the election coming up. And we start selling. $250 down to $200. Okay. At that point, the stock recovered somehow and started a new life because it started looking forward to, this famous October 10th deadline. And I guess which was the day of the Robotaxi. I guess the mistake here was, this is when it started, right? It started sometime. And that's what I mean in terms of when you trade, you probably want to trade on expectations more than anything else. You don't care what's really going on, what's going to happen. You need to trade on expectation because you don't know what's going to happen, quite frankly, right? And the stock went from $200, right, all the way to 260. And it got a little bit weak there in the knee, right, on October 7th, right, basically here. And I figured, well, maybe now is the time, right, because it's breaking through its support of the 50-day moving average. And it held on. It held on right after I bought the call. And then October 10th happened and they just got killed. And then on October 11th, 220. Massacre right there. Massacre. So what's going on here? Now, if you look from an historical perspective, right, we are way, 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 way below the 50-day moving average. I mean, look where we are here. This is the first time we've been that far down for that long. Look, right here, and we usually don't stay that long. We tend to move back up again. So on the basis purely, right, purely on the basis of the way the stock trades, just that. I'm not, forget the news, forget what you think, the way it trades. And why do I believe in that? Well, I mean, it's like I always said, it's going to be cold in the wintertime, right? So we've seen how it trades, and theoretically, we should see a push. And today is Wednesday, and there was some move up, right? There was some move up in the stock, and we're pretty pleased about that. Okay, so we should see that. But frankly, what is the next catalyst? Because people want to believe in the Tesla story. People want to believe that it's going to happen. Where is the news? Where is the excitement going to come from? Let's pay attention to the robot division. That is what you need to look at. And what we're going to do, very simply, we're going to go to ChatGPT and going to ask ChatGPT, hey, what do you think? Right? So let's go to ChatGPT right now and ask him the question. Ask him the question whether or not what do they think? What do they think is happening with ChatGPT and what is the story there? So let's go to ChatGPT and what is going on here? Sorry, wrong one. Here, right? So first of all, let's ask ChatGPT the following question: how much is no? I'm sorry. Let's how much. Well, let's ask how much is the robot section of Tesla worth, right? And as you could see, potential future, we're talking about estimate that the Bernard motor could be worth $150 billion annually by 2035. Project revenue, if Tesla successfully entered this market and capturing the significant share, it could add billions in revenues, billions. Market cap influence, right? But it's still in its infancy. So you got that cooking for you in the background. And I guess what I want to ask also is how much of a market cap, because we're at 700 billion right now, how much will that division ask me? If Tesla Optimus robot division reaches the scale and adoption rate envisioned by Elon Musk, the potential market cap impact could be massive. Unit price and sell. The Optimus robot is expected to cost less than 20,000 per unit. If demand reaches vision of 10 to 20 billion units globally, even a fraction, let's say a billion, would result in 20 trillion in gross sales. The robot market, according to Goldman Sachs, could reach 150 billion annually, suggesting that Tesla could capture a large share. Contributing market cap, assuming it achieves 75 billion annual revenues from the robot, this could result in 525 to 600 billion being added to its market cap. 600, 525 to 600. Okay. Now, take a look at this. Tesla right now is worth 700. So we are almost assuming a doubling, $400. That's what we're dealing with. So what's going to happen next? Well, if you believe the chart, down, up, down, up, down, we should be able to recoup. I have until January of 2025. How much do we need to recoup? Well, it was purchased on October 7th. So, I mean, it's not like this thing is dying. It is just a matter of the market being nervous right now about everything else. So, if I look at October 7th, right? Let's take a look at October 7th. Probably around, I don't know, 245, 240 maybe. So it needs to go up by another 10% to get back, because this is where we get killed right here. We need to move back to that level. Now at 21, I will tell you that the P ratio is 62. It is expensive. I won't, but this thing has huge potential as well. Okay. So what do we do in a situation like that? We have until January 25, right? I don't worry too much about it. And the reason is because I know I've seen the way the chart trades. Right now, unfortunately, the market was getting nervous about the CPI, about the, you know what? CPI is not an issue. Recession is not an issue. All that remains is the election, November 5th. Let me tell you, let's wait until after the election, which is not too far from us. And then we will realize what it is, how much is a company really worth, right? It's always tough to know what's moving stocks. And when dealing with options, that's the name of the game. That's the kind of game you want to play. That's how it is. That's how you are, and that's how it is. So, in this particular instance, you've got to be patient. Okay. If you're buying the stock, right? Imagine the robot alone is worth $500 billion, right? We're not even talking the Robotaxi itself. I mean, the idea that your car now, instead of spending all day in its garage doing nothing, could be used to do something. But remember, you don't make money by doing what everybody else is doing. You make money by doing what nobody else is doing, right? Hey, Amazon, let me sell books for my apartment. Why can't you go to Barnes and Noble to get a book? No, but I'm going to start shipping it directly to the people. What? No. What do you mean? What do you mean you're going to you want to order everything online? No, you got to go to the store to buy. You don't you want to see what you're buying? Don't you want to see what you're buying? Not really, because most of the time I can't possibly see everything that I want, right, in one afternoon. While I could scan everything using Amazon. Wow. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? But of course, it's easy to get on the bandwagon when everybody say, "Hey, you know what? It's a viable business." But it's too late by that time. It's too late. You want to buy Tesla when the P is 10, not when the P is 67. No, you can make money, but I guess you have to wait longer, or you could use option and make up the difference. Remember, you make money in the stock market by buying when everybody else is selling. And right now, I will tell you, I'm not that everyone is selling, but a lot of people are selling Tesla. Take a look at the rocket ship. Look at the rocket. The rocket was flying. That thing up, grab the rocket, put it down. It's amazing. Car drives itself. There's not even a driver anymore. No, but we have Uber. But before that, you had a taxi. And you said, what? We're gonna go some guy's car and drive around. I don't know these people. I'd rather go for a taxi. Right? Look at you now driving an Uber all over the place. Okay? So the way to make money is you need to be first. You need to be first. If you're not comfortable being first, then you're not comfortable making money. I hate to tell you that. Of course, you have to be willing to lose money. You have to be willing to lose time. You have to be willing to lose face. You have to be willing to lose in order to win and gain. And that's the reason why not many people do it. And that's the reason why not many people have lots of money. That's the reason why it's more difficult. And on top of that, you need to be lucky, right? I mean, when I bought October 7th, I said, this thing is worth, but I wasn't lucky because he said what he came up with. He had the car driving, and then he had the robots running around among the crowd. He did what he said he was going to do, but he did not produce enough information for the analysts to say, but this is kind of vague when this going to be available and how much money we're going to make. So therefore, 10% we're going to hit you with. How am I supposed to do something? How am I supposed to know this? Right? So what do I do right now? I say, you know what? It's still the same company. They're still making money. They captured the rocket ship. They have the driving car. The robots are going to be great. I mean, look at them. Go on YouTube, type robot, and look at this thing I just showed you in terms of the $1 billion. So therefore, the lower it gets, the more you buy. It's not going to disappear. Okay. There's a reason why investors are willing to spend $67 of earnings, $67 per dollar of earning versus $10 from Ford, right? It's not a car company. But then you can't go back and forth. Oh, it's a car company. They didn't give us enough numbers, and the car company is supposed to provide these numbers, and they didn't do it, so therefore minus 10%. Don't believe that for a second. Don't believe that for a second. If this thing hits over $200 a share, you should be a buyer. Okay, so let's see what happens the next few weeks. I think that I would be eyeballing. Now, obviously, the market is picking up steam right now, right? Because we forgot about the inflation, and we forgot about the recession. And frankly, we don't have any, and it's never going to happen. We're under control. We're just waiting for the rate cut. Trust me, you're going to get a rate cut. You're going to have to have a rate cut. Okay, they don't want to panic in the market here. And second, you also have the election coming up. So let's get that out of the way. That's going to reduce the volatility. You're going to have your rate cuts. Right now, the market is focused on the earnings season. The banks did well last week. So, I mean, numbers should be coming in pretty decently. Hopefully, there aren't many big surprises, and we should coach ourselves right through a bull market until the end of the year, especially after the election, where that uncertainty has been removed. And trust me, like I said before, forget about the oil. Israel is not going to start World War III. Israel is not going to go and start bombing the Iraqi oil. In fact, they said it. I'm not going to do it. Right? In fact, they haven't done anything. I mean, they're smart people too. I mean, don't forget, this is three-dimensional chess we're playing with these people, right? So they know a couple of steps ahead. If you know a little bit about geopolitics, I mean, Netanyahu really did what he said he was going to do, right? He went out and he kicked some ass all over the place, and he did his thing, and he's keep doing it. Is he waiting for Trump to come in? So once Trump comes in, say, okay, now I'm stopping. And Trump say, you see, I told you I could stop. Who knows what kind of deal, what are they thinking or what they're doing? You don't know, and you can't predict none of that. All you can do, like I always say, is what is the perception? What is the market perception? You will never know what's really happening. In fact, I'm going to make a video soon on CPI to show you that the CPI that you're looking at is not really the CPI that you would have looked in the 60s or 70s. It may be much higher. So the number itself, although you know it yourself, right? If you're on the left side of the balance sheet, and if you're one of those people that are cringing because you say, listen, I don't care about CPI, but I'm not having such a great time, then you know that there's inflation. Anyway, not too much on that. All about Tesla. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel. Like what you see. If you want to see my trades, hop onto Patreon. Not too expensive right now. Lots of people are joining. Enjoy yourself. Every day I make comments about what's going on, what I think, what I'm trading, how I'm doing, so you could understand what's happening in the market. The market is alive. The market is a being. The market is like a baby. The market vomits all the time. The market does lots of interesting stuff to keep you busy for a long time, make lots of money, and you can take that to the bank.